Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm a California CPA, and in this video I'm going to talk about updates for business for 2023 tax year filings that will be filing now in 2024. Let's start. So I just read like 200 pages update for businesses, and I kind of like it's like a lot of pages, lots of information, but not everything is applicable for majority of us, like people who work with small businesses, right? So I decided to record a short video about something that is applicable for everybody. So it will be BOI filing, beneficial ownership filing, informational filings that will be required for this year. Also, I'll talk about some provisions that are going to get expired, but they're applicable for us. Maybe not this year, but next 2 years. For example, QBI deduction will expire in 2025. And then also I'll talk about like bonus depreciation, section 179 and things like that. So let's dive in. Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So I just read through 200 pages of updates for businesses, and I actually highlighted only like 3 of the most important ones because some of them might be applicable or not, but those 3 they're going to be applicable for every single business, right? So let me just go through them. So first one will be Corporate Transparency Act, which is BOI filing, which is beneficiary ownership information filing, that we need to register the company with FINCEC and file for every owner who has like 25% of controlling power or ownership. So that's a new thing to do in 2024, and I'm gonna go into it in a second. Second one is just some acts or provisions are expired, so not expired in this year, but will be expired next few years. So the most important one of them will be 199A deduction. Also, I'll talk about employee retention credit a little bit. And then in the end, I'm just going to quickly go over section 179 updates, bonus depreciation, things like that. So let's start with the most important one, which is BOI reporting, which is new to this year. So what is BOI reporting, right? So it's basically telling us that lots of entities are required to file this BOI reports this year, which is beneficial ownership information. So basically what it says that, and I'm going to get into what entity needs to file. I'm just going to quickly explain that the company formed before January 1st, 2024 has a year before January 1st, 2025 to file this report. And the company formed after January 1st, 2024 has need to file report within 30 days of formation, or it says 90 days in 2024. Because it just started being applicable. So that's kind of like when you file as a new entity, you have to file within 90 days. And then if there's any revision, changes in ownership, we have to file this report within 30 days. All right, so let's see what's important. So who needs to file? Reporting companies. So those are domestic entities, including C Corps, LLCs, limited partnerships, and trusts. There is certain exemption required that are registered with the state. Also, foreign entity registered to do business in any state or jurisdiction, right? So who are exempt? So we'll just quickly go over exemptions. So exempt are large operating companies with 20 employees and more than 50 million of gross receipts and U.S. presence. And also there is public utilities, bank and financial institution, tax-exempt entities, like things like that. So basically, why is they're doing this thing? They're doing this to know who owns those companies, and because all these large operation companies with lots of employees and gross receipts, they already submitted so many reports to the government, like payroll reports. So they don't have to report it again, but that's an idea. Let's see, a possible tax practitioner exposure. So for us, basically the conversation going around, should the lawyers do it, should accountants do it? And some lawyers said they'll do it. And technically, so it's just kind of a concern if it should be a legal service or it should be us. But I think in general, we should make sure it is filed because, like, as you know, it always comes back to us, anything to do with business entity or filings. So I would recommend looking into it. Maybe not now, but after tax season, but that's definitely something to look into.
Let's see. Some businesses and companies suggest checking with the state if they have to do it to see if it's legal or not legal. But for now, the idea is that it's probably something we will have to do. Also, some people concerned, do we have like additional insurance to be covered for anything that can go wrong with this report, things like that. But that's just an opinion, right? All right, so let's see. Who are beneficial owners? So this report, BOI, we have to file on behalf of the company for beneficial owners. So beneficial owners are individuals who exercise substantial control or owns at least 25% of entity. And substantial control is they can be as a senior officer, but they like do important position, can appoint or remove senior officers and things like that. So we can read into that more, but I would just think about it right now as somebody who has at least 25% of entity, right? The owners. And let's see. So this is news that we have to report entities starting January, that the new business entity as of January 1st, 2024 also needs to be reported. And requirements, yeah, so I also mentioned that we need to update those reports within 30 days. And the penalties are huge. So it says it's like 500 per day if you don't file it, and also criminal penalties and things like that. So like penalties are huge, but I don't know, this just doesn't seem realistic to me, is that all this like millions of company will just take care of it. I mean, we'll just file it. But again, this is like new requirements, so we need to know about it. So for us, the problems for us, that will be time consuming. It would be, we need to probably charge clients for this, included in engagement letters or not. So this is kind of like, I don't know, complications, but oh well. And this is like possible tax practitioner exposures that we potentially have to, it's like technically almost like illegal services. We might need to get insurance and things like that. So those are important. Also, there's something I want to add here because it's kind of not clear, like who needs to file. Do single member LLCs needs to file? So the answer is no, but if the single member LLC is registered with the state, then we need to file, because basically the rule of thumb would be if the business required to be registered with the state. If it's registered with the state, if it doesn't qualify for this exemption, we do need to file on their behalf, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to mention. All right, so that's kind of a big overview on BOI. Good luck to all of us this year. It will be fun. Alrighty, so a couple more things. A couple tax provisions are expired in current year. So here's a list of all provisions. So they're not really, none of them expire in current year, but they are expiring very soon, and those are important for us. So let's just kind of like look over what is something I would like to talk about it today. And I think the most important is QBI, right? I'm trying to find it. So here you go. This 20% QBI income deduction expired December 31st, 2025. So that is important for us. Also, there is employee retention credits that might be on this list or might be not, but we have until April 2024 to submit all this claim 2020 employee retention credit. So that's just something important to consider. And lots of other things will be. So I think QBI is the biggest one for tax planning perspectives, right? Because we're like, okay, so what do we do in 2 years? So something to consider. Also, I would like to talk about bonus depreciation. So like right here, it says first year bonus depreciation was 100%. It will decrease to 80% in 2023, then 60% in 2024, 40% 2025, and then like less and less, right? So bonus depreciation eventually will go away. And this is here, we have explanation of all of it. And I will do comparison with section 179 in a second, but basically the main reason between bonus and section 179 is that, bonus, first of all, will expire soon. And second of all, it's you can use it for entities that have depreciation for more than 20 years, which section 179 you cannot. So usually we would take section 179, in additional, we would take bonus depreciation. So let's compare like rules for 2023 and in general bonus depreciation in section 179. So new or used property. So for section 1, so we kind of can use the same things, new or used, right? But I think bonus depreciation, we have to do it on the first year when we purchased it. Effective dates. So once section 179 doesn't expire, then bonus depreciation, like I mentioned, will be 80% in 2023 and then less and less with subsequent year. Limited to taxable income. So section 179, yes, we cannot take section 179 if there is a loss, but bonus depreciation we can. Eligible property. So this is pretty much going over all the properties, and it's just something that explains that section bonus depreciation can be taken for something that is more than for 20 years or more. Sorry, I stopped for a second because I was like, okay, so this is 20 years and less, and this is supposed to be 20 years or less. So I think the difference is section 179 also properties are 20 less than 20 years of depreciation, but section 179, it says 20 years or less. So it does include that line of something that is 20 years depreciable. So it's usually, let me see, I just wrote it down something. It's buildings such as machine sheds because they are 20 years depreciated over 20 years. So because this one is less, we would not be able to take it here. So we can take it in bonus depreciation. All right, so for cars, we have those rules for and amounts for section 179 and bonus. For personal use, so bonus depreciation shouldn't be personal use fixed, asset. And type of activities, let's see, qualified, what else is important here? I guess the deduction. So section 179 has a limitation, and here it is, 1.1 million, which bonus depreciation doesn't have one. And yeah, so there's also phase out, right? Which for bonus depreciation, it doesn't. So that's another thing, is like for tax planning purposes. Hope you find it helpful. Let me know if there's any other topic or any other update you want me to record video on for tax year 2023, right? And good luck this tax season. Talk to you soon.